From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
American Door Company has been family owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, happy Thursday evening to you. Of course, we start our weathercast now with Kruger's Quickcast. You know, I go into a lot of detail and a deep dive and can tend to go pretty long in those forecasts. But if you want just a quick update of what's going on, watch at the very beginning of the morning and the evening update that you see right here. And you can get a quick forecast in about 1 to 2 minutes, typically closer to 2 minutes because I have a hard time staying below a minute here. But there's a forecast here for tonight. Those temperatures are going to be most likely around 70. So it's going to be another mild start to your day tomorrow with temperatures in the upper 50s for most of the higher elevations. Let's get you out the door tomorrow morning as you're heading out, looking for those temperatures to be somewhere in the low 70s for the valley. Still some fog along the coast, otherwise mostly cloudy skies there and some clearing for the afternoon. Smoky skies to start off, especially off into the eastern mountains around Chester and Susanville, for example. There's a look at that smoke, and you can see as we go into the afternoon tomorrow, that smoke mainly pushes to the east of the fire itself. So Chester and Susanville, yeah, I think those are going to be the two main locations tomorrow that are going to see the worst air quality. All right, so for tomorrow, temperatures are going to most likely be over 100 degrees here. We're going to start the downward trend tomorrow, and we're going to start to notice those temperatures dropping slightly here as we go into tomorrow, Friday, and not to mention this upcoming weekend. You'll see that in the 7-day outlook for the valley. Temperatures down into the 90s for everyone in the valley by Sunday, low to mid 90s by next Monday, Tuesday, and even into Wednesday of next week. For the coast, inland Weaverville, coast staying in the mid 60s. Now we're going to start off mainly with those cloudy skies, but some days better than others with some of that clearing. So we'll call it mostly cloudy for the most part over the next 7 days there. For the inland areas, of course, temperatures also dropping. Should stay in the 90s though for Weaverville, but in the low 90s by the time we go into early next week. Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. There's some of the haze, some smoke. Again, Chester and Susanville, I think we'll see the most dense smoke. Outside of that, in the eastern mountains, we'll be looking at some of that haze and some of that haze even from places like Alturas as well. Hey, by the way, if you don't have the free Weather NorCal app, be sure to check it out. It is free. Go to your app store, go to Google Play Store, search for Weather NorCal. You'll see this logo right here. Click install. The app is 100% free. Everything Weather NorCal has to offer is right there on your phone, including watching this particular video forecast that you're watching right now. So we've got the typical summer heat the rest of the week with a slight dip in our temperatures as we go into the weekend, even cooler by next week. It's looking a lot better here for next week, but no significant rain or thunderstorms in the long range. And notice I said significant rain, because when we look at futurecasts, we'll see that maybe as early as tonight into tomorrow, maybe a chance for a few showers. That in just a second here. By the way, the overall trend for the winds, no big changes. The main thing that we're looking for in the winds, by the way, each day is any change in the pattern. And the pattern has been calm in the morning, a little breezy in the afternoon, kind of like what we're seeing here. What we look for is if there's any main significant wind events. And we don't see that happening through the rest of the week, not to mention this upcoming weekend. Humidity levels going into your Thursday, still rather low. They are trying to show signs of getting a little bit better here as we go into Friday. That may be some minor help when we look at the overall fire weather risk. But as we go into your Thursday, you'll see a lot of the oranges. Again, keep in mind, when we're looking at oranges and even some of the yellows, these are areas where should a new fire start, it will spread rather rapidly. And so these are areas that we need to be extra careful when we progress over the next few days. And again, typically as we see it in the valley, but not to mention even some of those higher elevations as well. So looking at futurecasts, as I was talking about, let's take you into tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So the clouds will be there. I think we're going to see the added cloud cover for most of us in Northern California. We've got that fog really just hugging the coast along the coast here. But you see how we're seeing some green in there, indicating maybe a stray sprinkle or a light shower. This is very weak, folks, so anything we do see will be on the light side. It'll most likely evaporate before reaching the ground, but even through the day tomorrow, we could see some stray showers, especially off to the east. Definitely a welcome sight over the park fire, right? You'd like to see some rain, but most likely it won't amount to much, if anything. Quite honestly, the main impact would maybe be that added humidity levels, which could help in the firefighting efforts. Then we go into your Friday through the day, looking at those dry conditions, maybe a few afternoon cumulus clouds developing in the mountains. Otherwise, dry conditions, and you can still see some of that fog out along the coast here for your Friday. All right, so here's a look at the long range, and really what we're looking for is any of this monsoon moisture that we're seeing here making its way to Northern California. And it doesn't look like it is, but you see that trend, and this is normal for the desert Southwest. The monsoon moisture is in place. High pressures in place. You see the thunderstorms die down in the overnight hours, early morning through the afternoon. Because of that monsoon moisture, you see thunderstorms pop up in the afternoon. If we get some of that moisture into Northern California, we too can see the potential for thunderstorms. But that's all staying to the east, so no rain, no significant rain, and no thunderstorms in the forecast anytime soon. But the ridge of high pressure that's been giving us the heat, it's slowly shifting down to the south and east here as we take you through the weekend and even into early next week. But speaking of early next week, this area of low pressure is really going to kind of park itself to our north. A reinforcing shot of cooler air will kind of come in behind that through next week. We've got this trough of low pressure in place. You see this right here? It's not cold air by any stretch of the imagination by the time it gets to us, but it is cooler air. It's pushing that heat. That's the heat right here. It's pushing that down to the south and east. And as a result, we've got at least near normal temperatures coming in from the Climate Prediction Center. You know, typically we've seen over the last several weeks, we've been in the oranges here, indicating above normal temperatures. And now we're starting to see that warmer air push off to the east-southeast. And as a result, we're at least near normal. But I think we could even drop below normal too. When we look at that long-range 10-day outlook, at least for Redding, you see the downward trend going in the next few days. By Sunday, upper 90s, but the normal high is 100. And even if that normal high drops down to about 99, which we're getting it close to that, we're still below normal as we go through all of next week. So at least we're kind of breaking away from that triple-digit trend for most of the valley. Now we take a look at the wave heights as we go into your Thursday afternoon. I don't expect to see much change here. In fact, as we go into your Friday, you have to look really closely. It kind of moves in and kind of goes back again. So really overall what we're seeing here for this evening, there actually is a small craft advisory for this evening, but that should be allowed to expire later on tonight and into tomorrow. But for tomorrow, we've got those northwest winds at about 5 to 10 knots, waves from the northwest at 5 feet at 8 seconds. And again, that small craft advisory for this evening, but not for Thursday itself. All right, let's take a look at your forecast for tonight. Temperatures dropping down to the upper 60s to around 70, upper 50s for the higher elevations, and those low 60s here as we take you into parts of Trinity County. Here's a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, and you can see those temperatures are going to be generally in the upper 90s by the weekend, low 90s though by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Your North Coast neighborhood forecast to the south, mainly over Humboldt County. The coast looking at temperatures mid-60s. No big surprises here. We take you up north, and you can see, of course, the inland areas eventually dropping down to the low 90s this weekend, mid to upper 80s by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. How about Siskiyou County? Well, you've got those temperatures also dropping 80s by Monday, mid 80s for Mount Shasta City in particular by Thursday and Wednesday of next week. How about your Modoc County neighborhood forecast? Temperatures in the 90s, although places like Cedarville about 89 tomorrow, 93 out in Eagleville, and there you can see Fort Bidwell about 93. For Alturas, a little hazy for tomorrow, but I do expect temperatures to drop down to the upper 80s by Sunday to Monday, mid 80s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, those temperatures in the low to mid 90s for those daytime highs for your Thursday. We've got hazy skies again for your Thursday. Looks like more of that dense smoke kind of in this general area right here. Chester, Westwood, Greenville, Susanville, Janesville, maybe even Mineral getting in on some of that very dense smoke as we go into your Thursday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, temperatures mainly upper 90s to about 100 degrees here. We'll keep it that way at least through Saturday, low 90s by Monday and Tuesday of next week. As we take you up to the north, look for a high of 100 in Whiskeytown, 103 for Cottonwood, and there's Lakehead with a high of about 103 degrees. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Temperatures should drop below 100 degrees here by Sunday. And then, of course, those temperatures continue to drop. We'll basically be in the low to mid 90s for Monday through Wednesday of next week. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock for your morning update.
We're the locals down the street, the neighbor you come to for advice. a nest egg for the golden years, a loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service, while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.